The Liberation War arc, how it took My Hero Academia from mediocre to good again. My Hero Academia is one of the most popular franchises in anime at the moment, but the last couple of seasons, season 5, 4 and the second part of 3 to be exact, they were all misses, and personally the show became overhyped and sank into mediocrity, and honestly I'm not sure if I would keep watching the anime after this season if I hadn't read the manga, and oh boy, the manga has good stuff in store. Obviously, for anyone of you who haven't read the manga, spoiler alert, I will be talking about the Liberation War arc in My Hero Academia, which is obviously not adapted in the anime yet. Alright, now let's start. I was in anime only until season 5, and honestly, I rarely read manga, so I don't know what has gotten into me that I read the My Hero Academia manga, but this read-through actually got me into reading more manga again, because I started reading the war arc when I was in the bed, and 5 to 6 hours I kept reading it until 6 AM in the morning. That's how hooked I was. Horikoshi finally proved he could write a 10 out of 10 arc. Let's start with what I liked, for example. The characters. Why not start with the best characters of this arc, who is the villain? Shigaraki Tomura. Shigaraki was always the endgame of My Hero Academia, just as Blackbeard is in One Piece. So of course, they won't show you everything he has to offer in a couple of episodes. Still, from almost 5 whole seasons, he was always kinda underwhelming. But this arc is his breakthrough arc for me. He and most of the League of Villains actually were threatening and not Team Rocketish like they used to be in the past. Or in normal English, just some hotshot villains who did something but got beaten in like 1 or 2 episodes and their actions had no consequences. We got to see Shigaraki actually wrecking the shit out of characters we know. His backstory was revealed, which was not amazing, but did what it was supposed to do. Of course, there would be people in a quirk-based society who have brutal quirks, and of course when they discover their quirks, bad things happen, and mix in someone who is on the verge of psychotic thinking, and you got yourself a villain. And Shigaraki's father being the person he is, because his mother left him, makes sense, and him mistreating his own son is really good irony, good character writing, for the Shimura family in general though. And the funny part is, this isn't the only family writing which was pretty good in this arc, because I also enjoyed the Todoroki stuff in this arc. So let's just carry on to the Dabi Shoto Endeavor storyline. Let's be real, the moment we saw Dabi, we all know he was the missing son of the Todoroki family. So it wasn't an unexpected plot twist for probably most of us, but that doesn't mean it was a bad plot twist, as I still enjoyed it. I know this sounds weird, but hear me out. This revelation and reaction of Endeavor, Shoto and the rest of his family and Dabi's pure evilness made this reveal still pretty badass. Man, does this family have shit to deal with. First we see Endeavor abusing the children and mother, and now one of the children thought to be dead has become a psychopath. The flashback, which shows that in the beginning Endeavor wasn't that huge of a dick, was also really good as the Shigaraki flashback in my opinion. You can see him getting high hopes that Dabi could potentially surpass All Might, which ends up as a flop because Dabi keeps burning himself, so Endeavor gives up on him. Dabi, who has already gotten the obsession from Endeavor to keep pushing to become the best, is actually mad at his father for letting him down, for not treating him like Shoto and forcing him to train and not do anything else. Moreover, he even pushed Dabi to focus on something else because there is a whole world for him, while locking Todoroki behind bars and the brothers actually wanting what the other one has. This is some great irony from Horikoshi. Also, not to mention, Dabi had the main protagonist spirit in him, but it was kinda locked in from his father because he just didn't have the body for it. So that was also good writing for me at least. I also like that the mother got involved again, and while my opinion is that the mother did nothing wrong, it's still cool to see that she recognized that she also did wrongs just as the whole family and tries to better herself alongside the family. But for that they actually need to let go of Dabi fully and need to stop him from harming others, even though it is also a bit their fault that he turned out the way he did. That's why they need to hold responsibility now. The last member of the league I want to talk about is Twice. Spinner and Toga also were good in this arc, but nothing worth talking, I think. Or to say it in other words, if I would be talking about every good character, I'm talking about every great character now, this video would be 3 hours long. So let's focus on Twice. Twice was great, man. Obviously they focused on him and it shows. You got to see him actually caring for his friends while not caring for who they are or what they do, and it's always cool to see villains caring for each other. We also got an actual super interesting and unique topic which made so much sense and I loved it. Twice being kinda schizophrenic / having a split personality and being insane the way he is, which is he doesn't know if he is the real Twice, which makes so much sense cause it's all trauma which suits his quirk. He can multiply, and if you overdo it, you may forget who you are and you may get many personalities. I love that Horikoshi gave him a trauma suiting, if you can say that like this, to his quirk. The fact that he went out like a Chad by not cooperating with Hawks also was really cool, and with that he was sent off, aka killed. And damn, I'm glad Horikoshi can kill off a character properly and wrap things up, because the way he handled Sir Night-Eye was dreadful. Killing off a character we didn't know about nearly anything, who didn't have character moment or development just because why not. This in comparison was really good written. Okay, team switch up. Let's go to the heroes now. I can't believe that I'm gonna say this, but I really like Bakugou in this arc. And this is really a big statement from me, as I hate this character up to this point. He was a good antagonist in season 1, somebody to hate, and then they tried to turn him into getting friendly with Deku out of nowhere, and it was really weird, unrealistic and bad. Now though, we see him a bit calmer and see his point on things. We see how he thinks about Deku being a lot stronger now and all the one for all stuff, and it's kinda cool having another character who also now gets used like this, who knows about one for all and understands the big situation and not just some parts of it like the rest of his class used to do. But it's still being an exclusive thing to them also was really cool. The strongest moment was when he eventually saved Deku, risking his life, regretting what he did his whole life to him, and that's really cool. It doesn't come out of nowhere, and it is him kinda evening out his past mistakes. Maybe a quick shout out to the disappointment duo, as they kept doing what they always do, which is disappointing. Ida and Uraraka. Man, when Ida said he wanted to look after 2 friends very dear to him who helped him once, I really was expecting at least a little screen time for him. And Uraraka got a bit of saving to do and got to fight Toga for the like 19th time, which again didn't result into anything, and that's it, man. Kinda disappointing. I kinda talked about Todoroki, so let's talk about Deku and then end it with the characters. Deku was okay in this arc. The stuff with the past users with One for All. Oh, and quick side note, I really enjoyed the drama with All for One taking control over Shigaraki's body. Really good stuff. Back to Deku. As I said, the meeting he had with the last One for All users were really insightful and interesting, as they also showed that the past users weren't in agreement about how they should proceed. For example, killing. Deku's fight with Shigaraki was also the highlight of the arc, as the opponent was really good and cool, and he himself teaming up with the likes of Endeavor was really cool. And again, I'm glad Horikoshi can write good final boss fights, as the big fight versus Overhaul was kinda meh. The Liberation War arc is kinda like a better version of the Overhaul arc in some ways. Sorry, but I don't have much more to say about Deku. The result and the aftermath. The result was kinda playing it maybe too safe, with no side really winning. I mean, the hero side lost because they couldn't stop the villains and they got away after leaving nothing but bricks and ash over where a city once stood. But especially the lack of death kinda told me this wasn't that hardcore. Sure, some heroes died no one of us really cared about, with the only exception being Midnight, who was a flat character who didn't have much personality to begin with, and I know some people might like her, but like she isn't really that important to the story. But I can accept that it was still a heavy loss, but that's it. It didn't feel like the heroes lost that much. Like, couldn't you at least break Ida's legs or something? No, but seriously, the lack of death was only a minor critique point considering what's to come though. And I loved what came. An anarchy. Yes, an actual anarchy in hero society, with the whole country of Japan going nuts. Borders from the countries closing because shit is wild over there. Villains attack everywhere. People searching safety in wrecked buildings from aggressive villains who can do whatever they want, as it is an anarchy, as I already mentioned 100 times. I love that this fight actually carried so much consequences, and it wasn't just brushed over and everything went back to normal after the fight. And and especially that the consequences is so heavy. And again, it's an anarchy. I love anarchies. Did I mention I love anarchies? I love the setting of an anarchy. Kind of reminds me of the stage of the game in Spider-Man PS4 when everyone runs riot because they have anarchy there too, and you can save dozens of citizens. It's kind of like that, only in anime. Also, we saw how Tomura frees his master, All for One, and basically everyone else at the prison after the fight, which on the one side, yes, it was obvious that All for One would be freed eventually, but also if they can just free them from the prison anytime they want, then really what's the point of putting the villains into prison anymore? You feel me? Like, I get that you shouldn't kill them, but if you put them into prison and they can be freed whenever they want, like, that's not the solution we are looking for. I don't know how Horikoshi will solve that. Maybe a safer prison or something like this, but yeah, I hope he solves it. Anyway, this arc was a 10 out of 10 for me, no questions asked. This was My Hero Academia's Namek Saga or Chimera Ant Saga. Not comparing them on quality level, but on what they did or will do for the show. They level the show up, and in this case, it's from mediocre show for me to a good show again, like it was until season 1. Also, I'm really excited on what's to come next because My Hero is massive, but after this, I feel like they can't stretch the story much more, maybe like 5 to 6 arcs or so, and it would be kind of wrong place if a happy, lucky, nothing at stakes arc would follow anytime soon, like for example School Festival arc was. Theoretically, they could have like still 2 tournament arcs, but I think we are past the stage of school tournament arcs, just as in Dragon Ball Z. They ran really tournaments after the 23rd one, as the stakes and power levels were way too high to do one again. That's the state of My Hero Academia at the moment, I think. As Deku wasn't that much weaker than the end goal villain, who almost was at 100%, and the country is in literal anarchy, who the fuck would do a school tournament right now? So I'm excited to see what's next, but what do you think will come next? What did you even think of the war arc? Write it all down in the comment. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, and if you listen to this point, why not subscribe? I do a lot of videos like this and all sorts of things. Again, thank you for listening and bye.